is Antoinette again, and I was just looking for a fresher spot. For some reason, the power went out, and I have like a small, you know, uh, solar generator, so I got the fan on here. Anyway, this dream I had, it was a pretty amazing dream, to be honest, you know. I would say I was in my 20s. I was living out of state, and my sons were little. Okay, they were still little, and they were. I've always been kind of protective over the kids. Was one of those mothers, you know, very protective, and not really letting my kids stay, you know, with just anybody or anything and stuff like that. So, not always worried about like, oh well, I didn't worry about it, but I always thought, gee, you know, if I died or anything happened to me, you know, who would take care of my children? So it wasn't like a crazy worry, but you know, some people think that way, you know, like I just want their lives to be good and be treated good, you know, just one of those type of mamas. Anyway, during this dream, and I bring that up because of how I felt after I woke up from the dream. Now, I'd say this would have been, like I say, the early 90s, or probably around 1990, 92 maybe, 93. Uh, and that was like one of the wildest dreams ever, and pretty amazing. Well, in the dream, I had like suddenly, okay, suddenly I'm in the sky, okay? And I'd say that I'm not like way up in the sky, like where the clouds are. I'm just gonna go by like stories of a building. Like, let me see, a 10-story building. Oh, probably maybe 10 stories, maybe 20 stories high. Hard to say, you know, about that height. And I was looking downwards, and I see people. Like, I see some people there. Probably about 3 or 4 people. And where I was looking at, like, the ground looked like, I don't know, like people were, like, I saw my mother. She was like at a distance, and I don't know, I don't know if she was doing something with the ground, planting something. I don't know. I didn't see her by any one place or by a house. And then there was like a couple of my sisters out there too, you know, and there was just like a few people that I could just see, but the people that I was looking at, like, they weren't by any structure or anything. They were just, you know. And when I saw my mother and other people, including the two sisters, uh, I thought, like, about my mother. The thought in my mind was, uh, that is the woman that used to be my mother, okay? Well, for a long time after that dream, I used to wonder, you know, did I go before my mother? But it turns out my mother, uh, she passed away. It's been like probably about a couple years now. So, you know, but it made me wonder about the dream because I saw her, and but like I say, they run all together. It was kind of like symbolic, I'd say, you know. Like, I didn't see any housing structures or anything. And there's probably about 7 people that I could see in the distance, and I'm just watching them. And what I did notice about how I felt about, like, my mother, my two sisters, and the other people, was the same type of love for all of them. It was like Like I didn't have any extra affection towards my mother and the two other sisters who I know very well and stuff, and the other people. Let's just say 3 or 4 other people. The love that I felt was very different from the love that I felt as you feel, normally. Because we have closer ties to people. We might, love our children, or, of course, we love them more than we might love somebody else and stuff. But the love that I was experiencing was like I don't know, like a super grand type of love where I felt like a grand sense of also compassion, okay? Like loving compassion, like very strong. And it was equal. It was equal. Like I didn't favor my mother or my sisters any more than I did the 4 other people that I was looking at. And I remembered having this utter love and feeling this love that I probably never have experienced in my life, and compassion and loving feeling towards everybody equally. Like if they were all like, brothers and sisters, or like we all belong to the same family, And so I realized that I'm in the sky, right? And I'm looking down, and the earth doesn't look like that colorful or something. It looks kind of dismal. So actually, dismal comes from the word dias mal, which means bad days. Bad days. Dias in Latin means days, and mal means like bad or evil, however you want to use it. But that's what dismal comes from, dias mal, okay? But I remember that thinking that, like, gee, this is like not as colorful, kind of dismal looking, not as vibrant or something. Now also in the dream, I'm with somebody else. Some other being is with me, by my side. Now in some of my dreams, there has been another being. And I always get this impression from like another being that's with me, like they're more knowing or something, more assured, more something. Well, anyway, in a little bit of thought, I was thinking like, you know, well, before I get that thought, I notice about myself. As much compassion as I felt in this loving love that I have to all these people, equally the same, and very, very much. And I remember that my being, like I was fully immersed in whole, complete of love, okay? Like love. Like it was love. Like I, like in this physical body, it's really hard to describe. Like in this physical body, like you cannot, like if I touch my hair here, like I touch my hair and let's say I squeeze my hair like that at the end, I don't feel any pain or whatever. And if I pull it, I can feel, you know, whatever, like my body can feel. Like sometimes you can feel when your heart's beating hard or something, or a cut or whatever. Like you can feel your being. And when you feel love, oftentimes it really, like you do feel it in your heart. You do feel it in your heart. strangely. And, but this love, I was just full blown love, okay? Like, I could feel love, and, and there's like this power to it, like a power. All the way to the tips of my fingers, all the way to the tips of my toenails, like, all the way to, like, the tips of my hair. I'm not kidding you. Like all the way to the tips of my hair, all the way to the tips of my hair, to the tip of my nose, to my entire being, my entire being, from fingernail to the tips of my hair, to the tips of my toes. I was like totally filled with love. I can't even describe that feeling. Like I just emanated love. I would probably just have been emanating love. I know that my body was in like excellent condition or something. And I remember like kind of like looking, you know, kind of like, wow, I can feel like love, like my whole being became love. And not just love for that person or that person or that person, you know, because, oh, I knew my mom better, and, you know, and all this stuff, or my sisters and fun I had with them or whatever, or growing up with them or this and that. It was different. It was truly, for one, a lot of compassion for everybody equally, including the other people that I didn't know. And I thought to myself, like, oh man, if they only knew, if they only knew how great it was, if they only knew how awesome, how fantastic, and how great this was. Now, also, like my glance and my looking at them, I could see, I don't know, like something about like toil and labor, like toil. And the sun obviously hits the earth, and now something about the sun, like kind of heat or something, but it didn't affect me. It didn't affect me anymore. Okay, like I was in a different, I don't know, like I could see what they were doing, but all I could feel was, oh, if you only knew how great this was, if you only knew like how great this was. And I didn't have any like real desire or anything. It was like I was just observing. Like it's something that just happened to me that suddenly I'm there. Okay, and I know this sounds longer because I think the dream was shorter than my explanation. Okay, so anyway, like I knew that they, at least, I'd say the 7 people that I was looking at were going to like be where I was someday, or they were going to, like it wasn't their time yet or something. But I longed, one of the things I did feel was the longing for them to feel, or what I felt, or it was like a reward or a like a significant value. And keep in mind, I hadn't even gone anywhere yet. Like I knew also, like at that point of observation, for something that had happened like real quick, like something like that happened real quick, that I was suddenly there. Like, not kidding. I was just like suddenly there. And then I thought, and although there's this other being with me, uh, I don't know if that being is the person that I was with prior to that happening, or it was an angelic being or anything. Uh, I just know there was somebody else with me in the sky next to me. Okay, so I thought to myself, like, like for one, there is no money on earth, no earthly riches, no yacht, no nothing can compare to this utter, and it's a powerful transformation. It's not just love and meekness and all that. No, this is power. I'm not kidding you. It's power. But it's also like a power of like, you know, that what you do or what you don't do. Like, there's no restraint in it, but you know that people have their time, and that's one thing I understood. And another thing I understood is kind of like, I don't know, how you die out of this earth. Like how you die or leave this earth, or how you go. That also has like a value. That has a value to it. It does. There's even a value to how you die. Okay. So anyway, I think, like, well, how, like, I knew that I was down there prior, you know, there watching on earth, because that's what I know I was. And I thought, like, how did I get, like, from there to here? Okay. And immediately, I wasn't explained, immediately I'm at a scene. Okay. And it looks like I'm kind of like in a little bit rugged mountain area or something. And I'm in maybe like the foothills of a mountain, or I don't know what. And I just remember some rocks, and it looks like, you know, like a mountainous area, sort of. And I remember like coming, like there was another person with me, and coming from behind these rocks or something. They weren't huge rocks, but it was just like a mountainous, like not clear up in the mountains, just like a mountainous area. You know, you could tell that it's like the mountainous area. And I come around, and I was caught like off guard or something. Like, I was caught off guard, and I was struggling, and there was this other person, and I didn't used to like to repeat this dream, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to me, but I didn't like repeating that part of the dream, because it used to make me feel, I don't know, like fear or something. Especially like even if I went to the mountains or something, like I'd always think like, oh, that dream kind of reminds me of that. So in the dream, I'm with another person, and I come around these rocks or something, and it was almost like maybe I was like hiding or something, or I don't know, like I was there for some reason, and I got caught off guard. There's another person there, and there's a struggle going on. There's a struggle. It was a struggle going on, like I was struggling, like for my life, okay? And this other person that was attacking me was like, I guess that person had a knife. I would say it's masculine. And they jabbed me like, I don't know, 3-4 times, I guess. And I didn't feel the pain, but I was feeling like these punctures, okay? And it was a struggle, and I was struggling with this person, for my life. And apparently, I guess I didn't have a knife. I don't know, but that person did, and I felt like punctures. And like the punctures, I first felt the puncture, but not the pain. I know that's weird. And everything kind of happened a little quick. Even this struggle probably went on for about a minute or so, And then, like, I was like shown how I got there, okay, how I got where I was, okay, like if somebody killed me, okay, and I was struggling, and I died. And then suddenly I'm, boom, immediately up there. Like, I guess I don't even remember a point where I was like suffering or anything. It was just like something that happened real fast. And then suddenly I'm, boom, up in the sky. Like, I don't remember like suffering death or anything. It was just like an altercation, and it was done, and then immediately I was, boom, just boom, up in the sky. And then that's, see, because the dream started when I'm up in the sky, and then I think like, well, I know I was part of what's going on down here. Like, how did I get from there to up here? Like, suddenly, like, why am I up here? So that was that, and I woke up like after that altercation, and at that point, that was the point where I was, boom, caught up, okay, immediately. But I didn't go back to that point. But whatever the point was, and what I felt originally from the origin of the dream was like when the alarm had went off and I had needed to go to work, and it was pretty early. Shoot, I think my alarm was going off at 5:30 in the morning or something. And myself, normally, I'm one of those people that hate to get up, and I set my alarm to go off 3 times before I even get up. So anyway, the alarm goes off, and I'm like, the alarm like goes off. I'm out of the dream. I remembered the essence and everything about my being, and I knew that it was like so divine. It's like so divine. No, I didn't make a trip to heaven yet, but I also knew, one thing I knew was that like if I had a thought or a question, that I could just immediately be there. Like, let's say if you had even thought like, oh, what happened in World War II at blah, 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 you would like just, you could be there. Like, it was just weird. It's like all knowledge, like you can get any knowledge you want or something. But like you could see it, the knowledge. You can see it, be it like, I don't know, you can just, it's like the knowledge is like very different for whatever it is you want to know. Like, I knew that if I had thought, well, I wonder what Italy looks like, I could just like be there. If I had said, oh, I wonder what Italy was like in 1802, boom, it's just like your knowledge and stuff is like you can think anything, and the knowledge would come to you. Like, you would like just get it. You wouldn't just get it. You wouldn't just be like reading a history book. Like, you come into all this, like, I don't know, like the knowledge of everything, or history, or whatever it is that you're curious about. Pretty fantastic, though, I thought, to have that ability. But like, that's one thing I knew. But my body was in a very loving and divine, also powerful, but powerful in ways that probably people can't understand, and very hard to explain, and very hard to explain the, I don't know, like a glorified body, very hard to put it. I don't even know if there's any words on earth to actually describe it. Pretty great. But when the alarm went off, I felt like, oh, I'm like back in bed. I have to get up, go to work, get the kids ready, stuff like that. And I immediately felt like sadness and like grief, that, or I don't know what the word would be. Like I wanted to be back at that point, because I was connected to God the Father, and all these, I was connected to them. I was a part of them, and it was like completely awesome. And I begged God, I begged him with all my heart, I begged him to take me back. I begged him to take me back. And like I really didn't want to be there, and it was weird because like I was even willing to let go of my children, just to be back. That's how grand and beautiful that love is. It's like, it is just, and then to be a part of it, it was even more, like awesome, can't even describe. Awesome, can't even describe it. And it's, and so the alarm, so I spend time there begging to go back, and I realized then I spent all this time begging. And then the alarm goes off again after I hit the snooze button, and I get up, and I just realized that I'm not going to be taken back. I'm not, okay? And when I got up, I felt like this disappointment, and I thought of my children sleeping in the other room and stuff, and I thought, oh my gosh, like that love and the connection to the Father, and like that world and the angelic beings is like so crazily divine, and you're in a glorified body, and I thought, gee, as much as I love my children, oh my gosh, I was like willing to like let them go and not worry about it. That's crazy. And so I the snooze button goes off again, and I go back because I forgot to turn the alarm off. And as I'm getting ready, in the restroom while the kids are still sleeping and stuff, because I kind of get ready myself, and I'm married and stuff, and I'm the one that has to be at work at that time and stuff like that. And I'm getting ready, and I'm looking in the mirror in the restroom, and I'm thinking of my kids. I'm totally engulfed in this dream and the magnificence of it, and how I would have been willing to let go of my children, which is something I would have never ever thought that I could do. And and then I realized that, when the snooze button goes off again, I go run back, so I don't wake everybody up, and turn it off. I realized like this this issue about time. And one thing that came to my mind is that Earth is ruled by time. Like everything has a time to go to work and all this other stuff. But where I was in that I would say divinity. I would call it like being a divine being. Okay, like being a divine being, like being that. And I wasn't in time. Like I wasn't ruled by time. That's one thing I caught right away. Like wow, like it was in a to be in a timeless state. Like you're like that's one thing that I caught right away. Like I was in a timeless state. Like if I wanted to stay up there, you know, in the sky and just look for as long as I wanted, I could. It's not going to make really any difference whatever time I take as to the time here. Like everything's like set in time. Like oh, you need to be over there in an hour, or you know, yeah, like everything is timed here. Everything, even our lives are timed. Okay, there's a time of death and stuff like that, and even when I was looking at the people, like I knew, like I could hardly wait till they can receive what I had received, but it wasn't their time yet. Okay? But where I was in a timeless state of being. I'm not ruled anymore by time. Not ruled anymore by time. Like, okay, it's time to go to heaven. No, I was in a timeless state. So, that is my dream, and I did want to bring up, like, what I have thought about that, and I know a lot of people, like, they profess, you know, like this pre-rapture, you know, you're not going to be here when all the tribulation happens or anything like that. And then you got your post-rapture and whatever. But this is what I do know, and I know that this was taken from pretty much that same context. And I'm kind of thinking it was Paul that may have spoken this. And it comes from the words that say, I tell you a secret. Okay? I tell you a secret. We shall not all sleep, but some of us are going to sleep when we die, and some of us will not sleep. Okay? So, I tell you a secret. We shall not all sleep. Some of us will be taken up, boom, in the blink of an eye, and be caught up with the Lord in the sky. Now, he doesn't say the heavens and the universe and everything. He says the sky. And that's where I was. I was like in the sky. And I could see, you know, kind of like what was going on with people and experiencing this love, okay? So, I don't know what happened to the second person, but the person I could have been with could have been the person that I was with too. Maybe they died too. I don't know. But that's what it was. I was immediately caught up. Boom, from that point of, you know, struggling for my life till immediately, boom, in the sky, okay? And I know, I think it's a little bit dangerous, you know, for people to not worry about too much about their, I don't know, their salvation, assuming that before any tribulation happens or anything, that, you know, like suddenly everybody's going to be raptured before all this happens. Or, you know, of course there could be some false thing going on that, you know, maybe the governments or, you know, these people, want to perpetrate as to why people are suddenly missing. I don't know, but I would think that they might play on that, and I don't know, who knows, UFOs, who knows what, but whatever it would be, it would be fraudulent. The caught up in the blink of an eye has to do when we die individually. And then there is probably, where I like in the Bible, like during a certain point of like tribulation and people die and stuff, or you know how all that works, you know, through your tribulatory times, one after the other. I believe that like when Jesus comes with his thousands upon thousands of angels, I believe at that point, I'm trying to think that there's an immediately souls being caught up. If I got that right, I'll have to reread that, you know, because I should know that part well. But I would say that's more like of a post-rapture, I think. I'll have to look up those words. But I do know that some people, when they die, they do sleep up until judgment. And some people, when they die individually, you may or may not be caught up immediately, and you might not even feel the sting of death. You know, you might just be like, okay, this happened, and boom, you're immediately with him. Okay, and you might not even feel the sting of death. Okay, so because that's kind of what I saw, is that I felt jabs, but I didn't feel like, I don't know, like the sting of death. I was just boom, from that point, blah blah blah, that happens, and I'm up there, and in a glorified body that feels love all the way to the tips of your eyelashes, you name it, totally engulfed in it. And it's a pretty powerful and knowledgeable state to be in, and pretty divine. So it's really hard to explain. But that's all I am going to explain about that dream, or about its, you know, about that. And yeah, caught up. And like our raptures, or rapture is not even in the Bible. It's just the word caught up immediately in the sky. Does not use that word, just caught up. So either some of us will sleep, or some of us will be immediately caught up in the sky. Anyway, thanks for listening. I would enjoy your comments, and have a great day.